Well, my name is going on the world for other songs to say you did a pretty girl. I'm going down in the as the best rapper you ever could see. Now I'm feeling the high end, you're feeling the low. The beat starts to stay to the go. You gotta come in your business and step on your feet and move your body. It's all your feet and you see the next down. You start moving the freak. I said, all right, how do you beat it? You move your hands high in the air.
All right, let's get started here. You guys having a good time? I thought I opened it up with a little bit of different, throw on some music, you know, some old school. Thank you, Chewbacca, for requesting that. So tonight, we'll talk a little bit about myself, a little bit less about myself. I don't like really talking too much. I like to bring out Louis Soto out there in New York. Are you on the line tonight, Louis?
Yeah, I'm here, Caesar. Man, I love the music. Took me back to when I was a teenager, mixing the old school way, you know.
Yeah, with vinyl. Were you on the 1200s?
Yeah. You could really scratch on those old tunes like that, you know. I don't know how you do it now, but.
Well, now it's let's see. I started in 1996. Got my vinyl stolen in college in 1999, and was looking for an alternative. So now we use Serato, which is what all DJs use, and it's gone more digital. They use your laptop, but you can still scratch on vinyl. And it's I mean, you got the library all in iTunes, so it pulls it right into your computer. I know it's not the same, but you know, it's the closest it comes to the old school method. But I appreciate you having you on tonight, brother. I know you play the trombone. I couldn't fit all your pictures in here. But I know you love music, so it's cool to share the stage tonight with someone like yourself that loves music.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm a trombonist by passion. Make a little bit of money doing that, but you know, working from home gives me the flexibility, the time freedom to go ahead and pursue those kinds of things.
I know you're right. You have the time, you know, working from home, doing this kind of work, and then doing your passions at night. How long have you been playing the trombone? Just curious.
Since I was in middle school.
Wow.
Long time, man. I got to do the math, but upwards of 30 years.
That's about the time I got started with percussion. My brother was a trombonist, so we got into school band. That's some good times there for sure. So cool. You're out in Brooklyn. I'm
originally from Brooklyn. I'm actually in Jersey now.
Oh, you're in Jersey. Okay.
Yep.
So tell us a little bit about yourself, man. What got you into this industry? I see a cool picture here with Trump.
Yeah. Man, it's interesting. So my background is in mortgage banking, and I did really well in the industry. You know, it was real easy to make money in the mortgage industry. The economy was piping hot for a while. And, of course, 2006, we began to feel the crunch. By 2008, I had lost a lot of money, you know, trying to keep things rolling. And I began to look at other ways of making money, but still have, you know, time freedom. I kind of grown accustomed to the idea of, you know, working for myself, and I really wasn't looking for a job. And I don't know how well I would do, honestly. With, you know, just a regular routine, you know, getting up in the morning, showing up to work and punching a clock, just not what I was used to and not something I wanted to do in my mid-40s. So I started looking for other ways of making money. I got involved with network marketing. That picture there was taken when I was with a company called ACN. I don't know if you're familiar with ACN, but yeah, I was with them for a little bit. I did really well with them. But it really wasn't what I was looking for, and have been in the industry, home-based business, for about 6 years now, and have done pretty well in the industry and with a variety of different companies. But the one thing that really appealed to me when I looked at drop shipping was that while I was, you know, very successful and documented in the industry, I couldn't say that was true for everyone that I was working with. And so I've had a lot of people who, you know, followed me, who worked with me, and, you know, they've seen me, you know, on the leaderboard, and they've seen me, you know, doing really well, and they've done okay, but, you know, sometimes it's it's not really their calling, you know, and they're just following me out of confidence and maybe not really called to do, you know, the typical MLM or network marketing type deal. And when I saw drop shipping with eBay, where you didn't have to have a special following, you didn't have to have a great list, you didn't have to be skilled at doing presentations, you didn't have to have the confidence to go out there and recruit, you didn't have to talk to friends and family. It really appealed to me because I felt it was something that I could share with people that really wanted to make money from home and maybe weren't having the same success that I was having. And so a buddy of mine who's actually on today, I'm going to give him a shout out. His name is Vinny. Vinny, he actually introduced me to the idea of drop shipping on eBay, and figured I'd give it a try. And I obviously did make a lot of money getting started, but I knew I was onto something. I made a sale almost within 48 hours, I would say, from getting started with eBay. And the idea of dropshipping was real exciting to me because it didn't require any investment and it didn't require me going out there and inventorying anything and having to buy and sell stuff. So I figured, if there's a way that I could scale this thing up, then I could, I could basically make a full-time income, and I can teach other people to do the same. And that's what put me on the hunt for a system that would help me do just that. Because it's one thing to go out there and list things on eBay, but it's another thing to go out there and scale the business up so that you can get to 500, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 listings, and really have the inventory out there in the market to generate a meaningful income. And so that's how I ended up with EDS. I got a little frustrated trying to do manual listings. I just couldn't get past right around 100. I felt myself capped right on it. There's no way that I could ever get myself upwards of 1,000. But I've been involved now with EDS about a month, and in that time, as of today, I've got 750 listings, and my profits actually, Caesar, as of today, including some back orders that I was able to fill, is actually $29.31 for the month. So pretty excited. Hoping I get at least one more sale for the $3,000 mark.
Nice. Well, you definitely hit the $3,000 mark because not only are you making money on eBay, but you're balancing your life out with actually building a team, which is really the system, right? You're leveraging yourself. In case you have a slow week or slow month in sales, you also have a team that you're coaching. And anyway, so you're doing well on eBay. That's awesome. I don't think most people bring that home in a couple of weeks. So you've done a really nice part-time income there, just the eBay side, and then the back end. I mean, I know New York might be a little bit more expensive than, let's say, California, but that kind of income can really help a lot of families out. So I like to give you some shout outs there, man. You did some really really good. You followed the system. You stuck with it. And one thing about you too is that you don't really complain, man. You come at me and say, hey, what do I do here? And I give you some tips, but you just do the work, and the world needs more folks like you. You just take action, you go to work, and just crush it. And anybody that decides to work with Louis, you guys are in for a treat because he is laser focused and just making it happen. So I appreciate you having you on tonight as well. And feel free to jump in there and help me out on the webinar. If you see something that is missing or whatever, just feel free to do it. So should we get started?
Absolutely.
Let's do it. Okay, perfect. I'll have some more testimonials on tonight, guys, but for the most part, we've been doing this a little bit over 2 years now. Since March, we just hit our 2-year anniversary, and I'll share some history on kind of the backstory, why this system was founded, how it came about together as a system. And like Louis, I also had some background in network marketing, but I was always the type of guy that loves helping out the average Joe. As a matter of fact, some of you may remember me from a product that was Craigslist. For some reason, I didn't like pay-per-click because the average Joe didn't want to waste money on pay-per-click, and you can lose a lot of money on the internet marketing side. So we'll cover some of that backstory here, and let's get started. So you're about to discover a system to create a part-time or full-time income from the comfort of your home. some tools that you'll need. And the reason I say this is because I decided to take this to the next level by creating a software to really help my wife out, and without having that mentality of hoarding it to myself. I hate to use this example, but I got some family members that I grew up with that love to save everything. They grew up in I don't know if you want to call it the Great Depression, but some of my family members have actually lost their homes in the fire when they lived, like, let's say, in a trailer. That's where my dad and parents came when they migrated over from Mexico, and their trailer burned down. And so he came from that background where they have to save everything, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing because that's what worked for them at that time, but my point in saying that is that we all come from somewhere, right? We all come from maybe the wrong side of the tracks, and even though I got my degree in computer engineering, that wasn't something that I wanted to pursue, which was working for somebody else. So this system really fit and actually I should just say this industry really fits the bill for the average person. So let's go ahead and get started. The tools that you'll need is at least know how to install a computer program. Okay, if you're not familiar with computers, that's okay. We'll show you some basics stuff. You got to have some familiarity with Excel. You should have Excel both on a Mac or a PC. If you don't, I think Don has recently told me that there's Office 360 that costs like $10 a month or something. You can get Excel for cheap, and that's really the tool that you'll need to really scale up your business. And the reason we say this is because I love to see folks doing growing their stores quicker instead of doing one by one, which is how I was taught a little bit over 2 years ago. You must be coachable. I've had folks that come from maybe a different system or have seen what we've done and they try to do it their way. All I ask is, hit the reset clock when you become coachable in the first few listings and just follow our system because it's been working quite well for us for the last 2 years. We have some original people that have been with us from the very beginning, and they just obviously a lot has changed since then, but you'll actually be a part, if you decide to partner up with us tonight or tomorrow, you'll be a part of, let's see, I'm going to try to fit this in on either on Sunday or on Monday. You'll be a part of a live coaching of me actually doing manual listings by hand, doing the new method because some things have changed with eBay. They're coming through here in the next month or two with some new changes that we need to record a new video. That's number one. Number two is we have had some competing folks actually stealing some of our members' listings, and so we have a new method on how to avoid that, and that needs to be recorded. So you'll be a part of that new video live recording. So just hit me over the head or ping me, and we'll record that all together, which is me pretty exciting. So that's to be part of the fresh new coachable process. Internet connection. I know when I got started, we were living out in the middle of nowhere. Unfortunately, or fortunately, however way you want to take it apart, is at the time with the 2008 crash of the market, our home went from $400,000 down to $150,000. Pretty crappy, right? And it wasn't a city that I was excited to stick around and raise my kids in. So we decided to move out to the mountains in a little city called Valley Center, California. Downsize, literally went from a 3,000 square foot home to 900 square foot home with 3 boys. They were still babies, so it wasn't so bad. But at that time, back in 2011, we came across this concept that you're seeing here. And the reason that I got excited was because it worked for my wife. Right? She was looking for something to do that didn't require, nagging friends and family and really do this on a part-time basis. And she was able to do this with her teaching career that she had as a first grade teacher. You need a strong internet connection. Fortunately, we were able to find one through a satellite connection at that time. Your computer is running smoothly. You got to make sure your computer doesn't have extra plugins that are slowing down your browser. If you get pop-ups or even pages that look funky, make sure to keep an eye on that. That could be that your computer's infected. Let's take a look here. So a couple quick questions here. What would an additional $10 to $200 a day mean to you and your family? We have folks clearing more than that, but I'm just trying to be conservative in that price range. On the eBay side, I think the highest profit I've seen in one sale, of course, it's a larger item, has been about $500 and some change on just one single item. So as far as I know, it's Jimmy Mender who's on team. If you know anybody else that's cleared that amount, please let me know. we like to call that JC-ing somebody here at EDS. And JC JC Hernandez is on the team department out in Florida, one of our original members. And somehow you can share your story, JC. I don't know how we came across that terminology, but that's what we call it. Anything over $20 profit is obviously a good day for you guys. How about targeted leads that actually want to talk to you? I came from working with nagging friends and family to internet marketing and really working with people that like and trust me and vice versa. We build that relationship, and it's so awesome to connect with people not only in the United States but in Canada and the UK and Australia and even in the Asian countries, China and Japan and down in the Latin countries. It's so amazing that you can connect with people literally by a click of a mouse and build that relationship. And I don't know, Louis, how far have you connected with people outside of the U.S.?
It's been primarily the U.S., but what's interesting is that, when you talk about talking to people who want to talk to you, it's really exciting. When as I start to share EDS, my genuine desire is really to enhance people's lives and to really benefit them and show them a way that they can create a supplemental income or even a replacement income. But folks really are attracted to this concept, and my inbox on Facebook has been blowing up the last couple of weeks.
And that's called attraction marketing. Louis is actually showing screenshots. Hey guys, I've done it pretty well today. This is my profit margin, and it attracts folks. So he's doing really. He's applying the tools of internet marketing, which you guys get to be a part of that here shortly. We'll show you some information on that. What would that be worth to you guys? You're about to discover this through our eBay system. So, for me, families are number one priority. Everybody's got different goals, but I can just share with you, this is my backstory. Time freedom was what I wanted so I can spend time with my boys. God only gave me 3 boys. I didn't get the girl, but I'm not complaining. They're great boys. My lovely wife, Fochi, was able to hang out with us on a Tuesday at Disneyland. Who does that on a Tuesday? And I think it's fun to go when nobody's there because less crowds, more times on the rides, and you guys can appreciate that. So we're job-free guys. We've been in job-free since 2012, August 2012, and that was literally our goal. She gave me exactly 6 months. It was January 2012 when we started this concept, and she says, look, I'm not going back to work next year. You need to stop playing around the internet and make a full-time income as soon as yesterday. So my skills of the phone no longer became scary. I picked up the phone and started connecting with some leaders at that time. Some have taken the information, gone and moved on to other things. Others have stuck around and kept the vision. And so regardless, I'm just happy and grateful that I was a part of their journey at one point in time. And I think most people can agree with that. It's about building that relationship, whether they're here today or gone tomorrow, really doesn't matter, but it's about you saying, hey, I was there at that time, helping them out. So you got to know your why. You got to get rid of Debbie Downers, and unfortunately, I find them a lot at jobs because the jobs aren't, you're not being educated by the person that runs the job, the company. Typically, you're surrounded by other like-minded thinkers, which are people that watched the negative news last night. So my goal for you, if you're okay with it, just try this on. I'm not saying you have to do this, but just try to replace your income at your job. And if you can replace that income, what would that look like for you and your family to be home with them so you can go do other things? You may be thinking, hey, I can't be with my wife all day, and that's your deal, or vice versa, I can't be with my husband all day. But when you have that time, you guys can set some really cool goals together, like traveling. Our goal within the next 5 months is to buy an RV and travel. We're going to homeschool our boys after this year, so summertime. That's our goal, and we like to travel instead of reading things in books. Let's take them over to the Gettysburg Address or to different military bases, like I was when I was an Eagle Scout growing up. So how much is your time worth? You got to figure that out. Whatever you get paid on a daily basis, your goal should be to replace that on the part-time or full-time income. Why was EDS started? The Elite Dropshippers. This concept was started for the support, of course, of my wife. She was looking for something to do that didn't really involve pressure sales. as a first grade teacher career, she didn't want to do what I did. You know, she didn't want to learn all the 6 months that it took me to learn how to blog and promote myself on the internet. It took too long. She wanted something like yesterday, so this concept really fit the idea. So welcome to our system. We're branded as the Elite Dropshippers. We started off as the Exclusive Diamond Club at one point, which was just Amazon only, and then we adapted into the Overstock method, which we called the O method, and then we brought them together into one system called the Elite Dropshippers. And this was about August of last year, roughly. And then we merged it all together, and we created 2 different products, which you'll find out here in a second. So the dropshipping concept is pretty simple. Okay, we list an item out of onto eBay. We find it at a online store. It doesn't really matter what store it is. It can be, you know, Joe Blow, you know, whatever it is, a tackle shop or fishing shop, whatever it is. It doesn't matter. Walmart, you know, there's a lot of big stores out there. And you just go to that website, take an image and description, and put some shipping blurb on there, and then you sell it on your store on eBay as a buy now or best offer. Okay. Some folks decide not to do best offers. I like it because I like to interact to see who's interested in my products, but that's the default that we have here in the system. That buyer pays you cash. Typically, you get that cash into your PayPal account after you ship the item if you're brand new to eBay selling. I'm going to repeat that. If you're brand new to eBay selling, you will have the money held in your account until you ship the item. So my advice is for new people is don't ship expensive items if you're brand new on selling on eBay. Okay, so that's the key number one. If you have an old eBay account from, let's say, the 90s and you sold at least 1 or 2 or 3 things, you might be grandfathered in to not have the money being held. And the reason they do this is because what happened about 3 or 4 years ago is people were drop shipping fake iPods out of China. And eBay got stuck with the bill, and unfortunately they decided to put limits, just like credit card have limits. They decided to put limits on people's eBay accounts. So the good news is if you're proactive and you're not afraid of picking up the phone, you can negotiate with eBay. We actually have somebody that's on the team who has recorded, her name is Brig, recorded her process and how she did it through calling in into eBay at a specific number. She gives you that phone number that's in the training on how to negotiate your listing so you can increase them. So, you know, there's no, I wouldn't say there's no end of the road here. There's always options. And so that's the cool thing about working with us is you have access to that resources and those mentors. Once the item sells, okay, you take that income and you ship it to the customer from that store. You never physically touch the item, which is pretty cool, okay? And then the buyer receives the item to give you good positive feedback. And one of the reasons why we use Amazon as a priority first place is because their shipping is bar none the best, okay? Actually, where I live here in Temecula, California, also known as wine country, they have a one-day shipping option. So you actually, even though it's Prime and it's 2-day shipping, you actually I receive it within 24 hours, which is pretty cool. My understanding, too, is recently just announced Amazon's working on their own method of shipping, eliminating USPS as well as UPS and just going straight with their own method of shipping, which should actually increase shipping speed. So why does this concept work? It's perfect for shy people. My wife is pretty shy. I got to admit, she's a lot better than she was now. As a matter of fact, if you guys received an email today, I got her to write some email copy, which is the first one she's ever wrote, so I'm super proud of her because I was out working out at CrossFit. And so, you know, make sure to thank her when you get in the inside and talk to her. Copy and paste led to sales and cha-ching sound to our iPhone. So the more you list is the more you make. See, when I got started, I remember my mentor, he told me, Cesar, you know, you're at 40 items listed all by hand. And there was none of this bulk listing talk back then. It was just something I actually came across as an idea. And I remember him telling me to make a full-time income, he said, you need to list at least 1,000 to 1,500 items. I'm like, geez. So you're telling me that, you know, to get anywhere between 2,000, like, yeah, actually Lewis cleared that, but he's about 700 items, so that means he's following the system to the next level. At the time, we didn't have the tools that we have, which is helping you with titles and all that good stuff. So everything was just by hand, and it was crazy. But these were the numbers, you know, these were the numbers. It was 1,000 items would get you about $1,000 extra a month at that time. And I said, well, that's going to take forever. I'm on item number 40. So I started to search the internet and start to find ideas on how to program a software to help people. At this time, actually, it was actually my wife only, because I didn't think about my list yet, to help them list more items up, help her rather list more items up. And the very first tool that we came out with is called the Keyword Scraper. I'll show you that right now, actually live. So let's open up our back office here of the Elite Dropshippers. By the way, at the time we didn't have a back office. It was all by hand over the phone, helping somebody out. And so you guys are in for a treat, because you actually get access to a system now that we built. And I like systems because it allows Lewis to not spend time coaching somebody 2 or 3 hours on the phone, doing it by hand, and then talking about stuff. But now it's a module-based system where you go through Fast Start, you go through Amazon Dropship training, Overstock Dropship training, and then, of course, some other trainings in here as well. But let's go to that first tool. It's on the tools and then bulk list, and then I'll show you the Amazon Keyword Scraper tool. And this is the very first tool that came out that we launched, okay? And I have a premium store, so I'm going to throw that in there. I'm going to throw my PayPal email because I want to get paid at that email. And so if I think about areas of Amazon, because this is an Amazon tool, I'm going to go over to Amazon really quick and just think about an area that I want to pool. And because we are actually in quarter 2, I don't know if you guys realize that, but tomorrow, being May, is actually quarter 2 in the sales industry. We're approaching summer, so if you think about the areas that are popular, I'm thinking like sporting goods and outdoor stuff because of the summer. And you kind of have to use your mind a little bit there and think about folks who are going to be camping and maybe even hiking. So I'm just going to pick some keywords in here that I want to pull. Now, I will say, as a brand new member, if you don't have if you have a brand new store, you don't want to do this. I'm just showing this for folks that don't have a limit on their store. And I meaning they can list as much as they want, because you can list a lot of items out of here using this tool. So I'm just going to let's go to Action Sports. Okay. And then if I go down to, let's say, skateboarding, I think skateboarding is a great area to pull some items. I'm going to click on skateboards. You'll see different ideas here for skateboards, right? So standard skateboard is the keyword up here. As you can see, standard skateboards. I'm just going to grab that keyword and just throw it into my search tool. And then I want to grab items based off of this. Okay, if I'm looking at these items here, the range is anywhere between, looks like $70 to $100, 24. Let's see, what's the cheapest here? 40, 39. Okay, so I'm just going to say $20. Give me everything that's $25 all the way up to $200, and I want to make at least a $15 profit. And then if they're going to negotiate with me, give me a $5 profit. And then just for this webinar, I'm just going to pull 20 items out of here with a quantity of 1. That's what I'm going to list. I'm going to go ahead and open up this file. Okay, you're going to see right here it says standard skateboards. It's grabbed it. I'm going to drop it into my downloads folder. I encourage you guys to get organized. So put it under Documents, eBay Work, and then Amazon, and then I'll create skateboards. I'll go ahead and drop the file in here. We are done with that file. I'm going to open it up in Excel so you guys get an idea, and there you go. So you can see that the title is right here. What used to take me forever to copy and paste and save the description, all that is listed right here. Okay, you got the description here. If you're curious to see what the description looks like, you can right-click and copy this, take it over to a HTML online viewer. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, don't worry, you get trained on this. It's really simple. And I'm just going to paste the code in here, and you'll see that there's my title, Stereo Vinyl Cruiser, Plastic Complete, Skateboard Yellow, and the size. Okay, there's some verbiage there for the features and then the description of the item. And that's just one item, okay? But I pulled out 20 of these items. If you don't count that first line, it's exactly 20 items. And the picture is all right here as well. If you want to see what that picture looks like for that skateboard, hit enter and look at that. You know, these are really popular right now amongst the kids. So that is really it. There's only one thing that I advise you to do. This is all in the same category, so this is actually really easy to do. I'm gonna grab something really quick over here called our title tool, bulk list title tool, title builder, and then I'm gonna grab the main keyword in here, and it's called stereo vinyl cruiser plastic complete skateboard. So I'm just gonna grab the keyword skateboard and see if it takes that. It should give me a category number, and yeah, perfect. So you can see skateboarding, longboard, skateboards, and complete. I've got my ID number there. That's what we need, because the ID number for eBay does not match Amazon. And there's so many IDs that it would take forever for my programmers to program that. So we just decided to create a tool for title as well as the category area. So I'm going to paste that right there, and then I'm going to double click on the bottom right. I'm going to populate all these, because these are all the same category, right? These are all skateboards. So I'm going to go ahead and leave that all there. I would spend more time doing this here, but for the sake of this webinar, I'm just showing you guys here. Here's the price point. I wanted a $15 profit. It's at $80.97. So if I look up this item really quick on Amazon, let's do that right now. It should be roughly about 60 bucks or so. Let's see what it comes up with. So it's $44.50, right? So if we take $44.50, let's calculate that price real quick. I have a premium store, so $44.50, and then I have it listed for on my store is going to be $80.97. I haven't uploaded the file yet, but $80.97. Okay, my net profit would be $26.53, and there's a price range of different boards here, so that could be where it grabs some of that off. The tool, what it does, it grabs the price point, and if you go back over here, you'll notice that this skateboard actually has a range, so that's something to keep in mind. So depending on what board you get, there's probably different colors. That's why it's let's see, yeah, all these will have different prices. There you go. They're $79.99. So there you go. Okay, that's skateboard number one, $189.97. Let's look at this other one here. Just another example. Again, another range of prices. So probably based off of $155, and $189. So there's your $12.06 profit there based off of that. Okay, the next thing to do, that's really the main thing is this category. The second thing that we do is we optimize our titles, but I won't do that tonight. I'll go back and fix those later. And I'm going to save this file real quick since I've changed it at the same location. That's fine. We have to close this out because TripleLister will give us a hiccup. So I'll close this out. Okay, I'll close my Excel out now. We don't need it anymore. And we'll open up TripleLister. This is actually an eBay tool that we write the code for. Really easy to do. We're going to right-click and open up a new folder. I'll just call it skateboards just to be organized. So there's my skateboards folder. I'm going to import from a file. I saved it over at my eBay work, Amazon, skateboards, pop that guy in. Make sure all these are checked off, and they are. And then there it goes. It just imported 20 items successfully. Okay, so if I go to my skateboards area, I'm not exactly sure where to import it. That's funny. Okay, so it just put it in its own category, I guess. So there's my skateboards. You see that it imported everything exactly the way it should. There's my price point. There's my best offer price. There's my decline message if they try to offer me a different price. Here's my image for that skateboard. Here's a description. There you go. Product description and title. And I'm just going to go ahead and go in here and add to upload. We are done. I'm going to upload all these, calculating fees, and I have a premium store which gives me access to so many listings, so that even though it shows you a price that's going to cost you something, it actually does not cost you anything because you're paying for a store. Now, we advise everybody to start off with a basic store if you're brand new to selling, because it's going to save you on fees, listing fees. So that is what is happening right now. It's uploading over to my eBay store. Once this is done, I'll go ahead and close this out. It says upload now. Now you're going to see a warning over here on the left-hand side. That's normal. What they're telling you is that if you list this right now, it's not going to give you the ability to have people buy it now in case they offer to negotiate with you through a best offer. So that's something to keep in mind. It's not a big deal, but that's what that's saying there. Warning: if this item sells by best offer, you will not be able to require immediate payment, which makes sense because they give you the ability to accept the price or not. So TurboLister is a Windows-only tool. We have support for Mac, and you actually go through another method called File Exchange. I have a previous webinar talking about how we do that, but tonight I'm talking about Windows. If you're on a Mac and if you have Parallels or VMware, you can run Windows and do this. If you like organizing your items through TurboLister, which some people do prefer. So this one actually had an error. Let's see what happened. Internal error to application. Okay, this is the first time I've seen this. I actually just updated my TurboLister today, so I don't know what happened. But we'll try this again. See if it does it again. Yeah, see, now it works. I don't know. That's TurboLister being funny. So there you go. I have completed my listings on that item. They're always active on the left-hand side here. If I look at active listings, I can go in here and just type in skateboards at the top right, skateboards. Okay. And if you want to see what that actually looks like on eBay, I'll give you a quick overview of what that looks like. And let's see. There you go. There's the image right there. There's the product description, features, and it's all uploaded for you. So you can always modify the title if you need to and all that stuff. But for the most part, I'm all about numbers. The more you list, the more you make. That's my attitude. So, okay, let's continue. So the more you list, the more you make. I just showed you how simple that was by not doing one at a time, but rather using the software. Now, this is a little sound that you get when you make a sale. Let's see if it still does it. I still got my music playing. Let's stop that. So that was cha-ching sounds on our iPhone. That's how we got excited. It's like, that's what told me. It's like, wow, my wife has started making these sales, and I said, wow, this is actually working for you. Let me stop what I'm doing over here playing around the internet, and let's focus on maybe creating this into a system. So if you love marketing online, there's folks doing blogs, websites, social media, email lists. I probably have used all of these at one point in my life, and I still use them today. I still blog. I still do my website, which is actually a blog, social media, email list, and there's actually should be another triangle in here called capture pages, which we'll talk about here in a second. But we do teach how to market on Craigslist, Facebook, email campaigns for traffic and sales. Our system includes a foundational training on internet marketing, and this is something that I don't really talk about too much, but I used to talk about this in the very beginning when I started the system. There's really two kinds of people on the internet: those that love to buy products or stuff, right? And I can tell you that from my experience on selling on eBay, if you don't have the item in hand, let's say Amazon runs out of stock, and you decide to just refund the person without their permission, they will tell you, hey, I want my stuff. I don't want my money back. I want my stuff. And I've actually gotten a negative feedback because I refunded somebody. So don't go out and try to do this on your own because we've already paid the price. I had an unlimited account that I can list as much as I want, and I affected that account, unfortunately, or fortunately, to really help everybody out to figure out what works and what doesn't to say to a customer. And so we actually have a special message in the back that has saved me 100% of the time. I haven't had a negative feedback after that message. And really that's what saved me. So our system includes a foundational training on internet marketing. And so if you love what we do and you say, okay, I'm making some money on eBay, this is exciting, I want to go share it with somebody else, then we'll show you how to do that as well through internet marketing, and you get compensated not only once but every single month that that person decides to stay active as a student using our tools. So myths about eBay sales: must be an expert, need physical products, must know internet marketing, only cheap price products sell. I can tell you that's not the case. Most folks are asking, well, you're selling it above Amazon cost. How's that even possible? Well, actually, it's being done all day long, way before my time. If I go to eBay, and we can search a lot of different sellers, but I'll just give you an example. Okay, take this guy for example. I say electronics, who's got a crazy amount of items. He's got over 115,000 feedbacks, almost 116,000 feedback score. Okay, and anything with a white background is Amazon selling item, so you can tell he's a Amazon only selling item. 19. Look at these little flames over here on the side. Let's take this item that he fails to list as he doesn't even optimize his titles, is my point. And if I click on Amazon, search that same title, click go, you'll notice that this product only costs $75, but you saw him selling it for $222. Okay, so that's JCing somebody, and he sold 12 of these in the last 24 hours. 12 sold in 24 hours. 2 people have viewed this in the last hour. This is insane. You should be mad, but I'm teaching you what people are doing all day long. It's not about the price; it's about the value and how it's presented. See, a lot of people come to eBay because they come from back in the 90s where they feel like empowered by using their tools and get eBay bucks, and they still think that Amazon sells books. So, I don't know if you remember those days, Louis, but when Amazon used to sell just books only, but now, this guy's not even optimizing his titles, and just because he's a top-rated seller, he just sold, 12 of these. So if we take the calculator, you guys want to know what he made on this, just out of curiosity as a profit. It sells for $75, all right? Your item's going to cost you $75. And he sells it for $222 and some change. Let's just say $223. He's making a $121 profit. I think you all agree that's JCing somebody. They should be ashamed of themselves. Oh, man. All day long, that's what they're doing. So, bottom line, guys, is, this item is just one of many. I'm just going to show you what he sold in the last, 24 hours. So today is the 30th, last day of the month. Okay, if you look at these, this item here, see if you can sort by date. But here's 1, 2, 3. I don't know what they do with my dates. I used to have a date on the side, unless I got rid of it. Strange. Okay, so anyway, point is, he's selling a bunch of this stuff. He's got a lot of watchers. That's crazy. I'm just curious to see what he's selling this for. This swim by. It can't be that much. He sold it for 20, 70, so right there. So let's see. Take this item here, aroma plate. He just sold that for $19.67. 1760. So not that one wasn't a high profit. 1760. He sold for 1964. You guys get the idea. Anything that's in green. Okay, here's my date. So April 29th is all yesterday. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's the 28th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and so on. I actually sold a bunch of these ammo deals. But, does that make you mad? I don't know. That's something you have to close your ears and not get emotional over price points, because people buy what they see value in again. So, $21.69. He sold this for $23.86. So That one's not, again, not high profit. Some of these are higher than others. Just depends. Let's go to the higher end items. Most of these are in between 100 bucks. But just giving you an example, you know, this guy's selling a lot, quite a bit. So let's take a look at, let's continue here with the presentation. So some challenges others are facing: lack of marketing funds. The cool thing is that we show you some free ways of doing things, and other people like passive marketing, so there's other ways of doing that as well. You're talking to the wrong people. You know, this is why I love Facebook, because you can build relationships really easy. There's no system out there that actually makes money without recruiting, and most folks are missing a coach or a mentor, and I think that's the most important thing when it comes to, you know, you being stuck is, you know, what do I do? I'm stuck here. What can I do? Let me show you something that's pretty cool. We actually have a group that we bring folks together in called the Elite Dropshippers Member Support Area. And when folks are stuck, they come in here and they ask a question. Now, we used to use Skype, and we still have the Skype group. Okay, we have a Skype group that folks can join and chat and ask questions, but it's no longer as active as it is on Facebook, because we find that most people like the threading conversation. Okay, if someone's stuck, you know, made my first dropship sale with $11.65 profit, cha-ching. Congratulations, Brian. So, you know, folks have questions. Hey, I tried to use a scraper. I got a scrape error. Okay, this is no longer lost in the dust, whereas in Skype, it can be pushed away and not be found. So this is what makes it nice for threading. I like to call it threading messages. So let's see. Louis, you want to insert anything? Are you still around?
Yeah, I'm still on. No, just go ahead and move along. The information is great.
Okay, I don't want to, in case you want to say something, I just want to make sure we're on the same page here. Okay, Robin, are you on the line tonight? She just messaged me over here. I don't know if they're still on, but just want to make sure. And then I think most people are missing a community of servant leaders to engage. You know, I think that's really the key thing. Who is the system good for? It's great for the struggling internet and network marketer, because we've all been here, right? We know that statistics say, actually, Louis actually hit it on the dot. You know, most people in network marketing, even though they get pumped up and you feel good, ACM being one of the old school companies that still have that great foundation, just like Prepaid Legal does, which is where I came from, and that personal development. I showed up every week like it was church, you know, because I felt good. I showed up, personal development, but my paycheck didn't reflect it. You know, I was still fearful of connecting with people because I didn't have the right mindset at the time. But I was working on that, you know. And some people call it the bamboo tree, right? The bamboo tree doesn't pop out of the ground for 5 years, and then on the 5th year, it pops up. The problem is most people aren't willing to go to college for themselves, to work for themselves for 5 years. They quit and they go find a job, and then, you know, I'm right there. I've been there before. Then I get thrown back into this industry, and I say, no, I got to make this happen. I got to stop playing around, and I got to make it happen. And you know, fortunately, my wife helped me buckle down and make it happen. So who's the system good for? Again, for part-timers looking to build that residual income on the back end. We'll talk about our 2-tier referral system. Stay-at-home moms and dads, college students, people looking for that team support. Feeder system that can attach to anything. And we're not really considered MLM. You know, some people may consider it as more of an affiliate model, which I like to promote ourselves as, because I don't have like a binary type system or a matrix system. This is really just referral marketing. But we do have a 2-tier system, which we love to see happening, because folks like a little bit of passive residual income where they don't have to do a lot of work. As a matter of fact, JC can be a proponent of that, because JC has experienced some really nice multiple 4-figure months, not doing too much work, just finding the right people. Secret tips, we optimize titles using our in-house software, use custom software developed in-house to save time. eBay does all the product traffic marketing for you, which if you've ever done any type of internet marketing, you can appreciate this. They do the traffic for you. All you have to do is perform, bring the product to them. the system we created is like no other that people love, and there really is no need to talk to friends and family unless you, of course, care about them. So our training center, you kind of saw that in the back office there, but that's really our training center. I have a little section called personal development, which I call that the $1 million section. That's what's really helped me break through from listening to negative music to plugging into positive things that got my mind thinking in the right direction. The days that I had crappy sales, well, I just plugged into personal development or went out and helped somebody else out in the team, and then out of nowhere, cha-ching came. I made a sale because by the law of attraction, if you go serve others, you'll get blessed in the back end. That's just the way my philosophy has always been in my life, and it has worked for many other folks as well that get it. It takes other folks a little bit of time to get it, but as long as you're not allergic to helping people, you won't be allergic to money, is my point. So you get trained in about 30 minutes. Shows your sponsored 5 listings to approve and proceed to the scraper, also known as the bulk lister. Bulk listing is what you just saw. Instead of doing one at a time, you go to work and start listing as much as you want. Marketing system, this is something that I'm a strong believer in. If you're not building leads in your business, you don't have customers to come on board and work with you. Now, some people decide to wait. So it's either I just want to make some money on eBay, and then later on I'll go tell people I care about. Well, Lewis, on the other hand, says, no, this is actually a pretty great system. You got a model here, and I'll do both. I'll make some money on eBay, which he's rocking it, obviously, and he's actually building a team, and he's one of the upcoming top recruiters of the month. So I got to give it handed to him that he's making it happen. So our Skype group, we talked about that. Sneak peek at our bulk listing tools. We talked a little bit about our keywords tool here that I showed you. We have another tool here called the Amazon multi-scraper, which actually goes after targeted items. So you put a bunch of what's called SKU numbers into a file, just a regular text file, and then you upload it into this little tool, and it pulls exactly what you just saw into a CSV file. I also known as a database file. I call them common delimited files, and that's really the tool that saves you time to get the exact targeted items that you want to list on your store. I talked a little bit about Overstock. This is our Overstock tool. Does the exact same thing. If you want to list items from Overstock, you can do that. There isn't as much competition on Overstock as there is, let's say, on Amazon. Even though Amazon's got millions and millions of products, there could be some competition there. So you always want to double check to make sure that other people aren't listing too much of that same item. Our model is pretty simple. Okay, we have a 50% commission on the front line. So if Lewis refers me, he gets 50%, and then if he goes and refers, if I go refer Kim, I get 50%, but he gets 10% up front and then monthly residual income. And residual income is the mailbox money, the money that people love to get and receive. And what we do is we total all the sales for the month, and then everybody gets paid roughly around the 5th of the month on the following month. Okay. So cost, what is the cost? We actually have 2 packages. I mentioned that earlier. We used to have one package, but then one of the guys on the team, actually a few people have asked me, hey, can you go build a tool for X and Y product? I'm like, geez, well, yes, I can, but we've got to make sure that we keep it fair, and it's going to cost folks an advanced section. So our first level is the diamond level, basic to intermediate. It has the Amazon Overstock training and bulk lister tool, which you just saw. It's going to give you everything from A to Z, from including the title builder. You're going to have access to that tool that I just used, how to build their, very effective, different titles. The key to the sales, to be honest with you guys, is making your titles different. If they don't match what we have on Amazon, then you can literally list anything at whatever price because you're branding that product. Amazon Keyword Item Grabber, okay, that's a tool that you just saw. By keyword, I grabbed the skateboards. Amazon SKU Grabber, I just showed you that tool. Amazon Page Item Grabber, in case you want to grab items out of a page, you have access to that tool as well. Overstock Page and SKU Grabber, okay, and then team support, okay, so that's all included. For your training, it's $300, $97 to use the tools, and then to continue using it is $97 a month. This is where that residual comes in. If you decide to build a team and coach others, if you do the math, that's actually only 2 people. you refer to people and you got your product paid for free. So if you want to go to the next level up, it's called the Elite Diamond level, the advanced section. Okay, we call this the area. It's more basically taking your business on steroids. If you're already doing drop shipping and you're tired of Amazon and even Overstock, then you can get access to both of those tools. Plus, you'll get access to Kmart as well as Walmart. And then we have a tool that actually goes after Amazon top sellers that don't optimize their titles. So if I wanted to go grab all those items that gentleman sold, I can do that and using this tool. We also have a few other tools in there and tricks that I can't really discuss because some of that stuff is secret. Not because I built the tool for them, but because I didn't make the idea. The idea was actually built by other people, and all we did was build tools for them to support them. And they decided to say, hey, you know what? I like this, but I don't want to leave it in the basic section. Let's keep it in the advanced section because I don't want too many people to know about it. So that's what that area is for, called the advanced section. So $597 and then $147 a month, just $50 more per month if you want access to these tools, and of course the training for that as well. So we're coaching 10 people this week. Immediate steps to take action. You want to make sure you email the person that invited you and say, hey, I'm ready. This makes sense. I deserve to sign up with your link right now. Let's get started. Here's a couple of people that have really helped us along the way. These are coaches and mentors that you all have access to inside of either Skype or the Facebook group. Dawn McIntyre out there in Arcadia, Florida, construction worker. They own a construction business and was kind enough to come in here and say, wow, this is my first time actually making consistent money on the internet, Caesar, and I'm grateful. She was actually one of my Craigslist marketing students when she bought my course. And I am just glad and blessed. My wife and I are blessed to have her on the team because she gives a lot of her time and herself. So I believe I've got Chris Smith on the line tonight. I'm not sure. He had to put his little girls down. Can't blame him. He's always busy with his beautiful girls. But if he's on, come on out, buddy.
I'm here, Caesar. How are you?
Oh, sweet. You guys are privileged. So I'm doing great, buddy, and I appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule. And I know you're always out and about with your beautiful daughters.
I always giggle when you say busy schedule, like I'm some kind of jet flying entrepreneur or something like that.
You are the eBay guru, though. That's what the word on the street is.
I would say that I'm a full-time dad because I tinker on eBay. Yes, I would say that. I don't know that I'd say I have a busy schedule. Like today, I just struggled through some shoulder rides and riding on a carousel and going to putt-putt. I mean, it was pretty rough on me.
Now, you've been with us for a while now, going on almost 2 years at the end of December, correct?
Yeah, my very first sale using our system was December 26th of 2012.
December 26th of 2012. Awesome. So what attracted you to our system, just out of curiosity, because I think you and I met through possibly some internet marketing stuff. I don't think you were a student of mine, were you, from another product?
No, I was not a student. I just literally randomly, well, not randomly. I think, as I've learned throughout my process with elite dropshippers, this whole idea and concept of law of attraction, I think I was attracted to you, Caesar, because you're a hot guy there. But no, like you did an internet marketing training on Craigslist, how to use Craigslist to basically like show people your business opportunity. And it was so great, and you did a free presentation for our team and a company that I opted into your list. Never really talked to you, and you actually launched this bad boy like months before I even decided to click on an email because I was like, oh, it's eBay. I should check out to see what this guy's talking about. And the rest is kind of history. Like I didn't get off to the best start. But that's my own fault. I heard you talking about all the different areas we have to get support. Like, part of that is your responsibility when you start. If you're just taking on the, just the back office training, which is unbelievably powerful, you're only getting like 1/4 of what you could get. And that's kind of if you look at like my current team members, and including myself, when you really open yourself up to being coached, and, I like to use the phrase checking your ego at the door, like the possibilities are phenomenal. I mean, between the current mentors and leaders in our program and the back office training, our Facebook group, our Skype group, and, when you come on board with someone, they essentially become your personal coach. So you literally have all these different avenues to tap into to be successful in this program.
Awesome, and you're building a little team there, and congratulations on making number 1 last month in recruiting. How does that feel?
It was pretty awesome. It was pretty awesome. I'm not going to lie. The funny thing about that is like even to this day, I don't have a blog. I don't have like an Aweber or a GetResponse email capture system or anything. The only thing I do is I'm very passionate about this program that allowed this special education middle school teacher to become a full-time dad. And all I do is I just, basically share what I do. I make it fun because it is fun for me. I make it, entertaining. Like the other day I sold something to Weed, California, and that struck me as funny. And that got me 4 people asking me, what exactly do you do again? I made a comment about someone in Florida buying hand warmers. That made a couple people reach out to me too. So I don't do any crazy special internet marketing. I just openly share this program that got me home. I did not quote unquote recruit my first person until I was, I think, 5 months in, and then number 2 and number 3 didn't come until I was like, 6, 7 months in. It just kind of happened. I mean, once you go all into a program and you really get behind it, it's kind of impossible not to attract like-minded people. It's literally impossible. The only thing I did was just make a couple Facebook posts to get this ball rolling about how I'm making over $2,000 a month on eBay. And, for most people, $2,000 a month, an extra $2,000, that's a mortgage payment and a car payment and some extra bill money for most people, And I built my eBay store, Caesar. I told you my first sale date was December 26th of 12. I literally just built my store, and the way I teach my team is do something every day. Even if it's just 10 minutes, do something in your business every day. If you treat it like a business, it's going to pay you like a business. And just consistent daily effort. And I even moved in there. That's a little known fact that, we wrapped up the sale of an old house and the purchase of this new house and all the, painting of rooms that goes on with that during that time. And, I essentially was able to replace my teaching salary in about 8 months. I did not have to go back to the classroom this year. That in itself was a pretty awesome feat. People looking at these work-from-home opportunities, that's the one thing I hear people talking all the time, like being a full-time parent or the freedom that comes with it. The money's cool, I'm not going to lie, but the experiences I get to have are just, you can't even put money on it. Giving a shoulder ride to my girl. My 10-month-old is so close to crawling and just started, doing the babbling thing. I got to be here for that, It wasn't at daycare or something like that. I get to experience that. It's pretty cool. It's not pretty cool. It's one of the coolest things that's ever happened in my life. So.
I appreciate you sharing your story, man. Because you're a gentleman that spends time putting priorities in the right area in your life that makes sense for you, and literally, I don't get offended, but hey, Chris, I need some help here. But hey, I'm out here with Maddie right now. I'm spending some time with her. I'm like, cool, go do that. And that's important to me that you put that as a priority for your little girls. That's why we did what we did here as a system. And I'll be honest with you, man. In my 10 years of being in network marketing off and on, this has been the only thing that has actually duplicated in a good way. And I think you can agree with that too. We had a conversation about that. That hey, you're actually building a team. It's growing and it's feeling good. And
That kind of that little look for me is almost a joke because this is a recruiting webinar, so I really can't name companies, but I was in one of the granddaddy of them all companies in 1997 when I was fresh out of high school. And, I quit within 3 months because I got too many no's. And then I got the bug again in the early 2000s with the work from home stuff. And then when my wife was pregnant with our first child, and that's when I really kind of decided the internet was going to be my ticket. And for years, not just months, for years, I tried so many different things just to get something to stick. And it's not like I made no money, but when I started this, I ran up a pretty significant credit card just trying all these different things and paying for clicks and buying this mentorship program. And in all seriousness, it's almost comical to me now. When I first started, I just thought this would be a way that I could get my wife off my back for running up that credit card, and it could just be able to make the payments from that, just from my eBay sales. And lo and behold, about 5 months into this, with that daily consistent effort, I was on my way to making my first $2,000 in a month. And when you make $2,000 a month, this free and clear profit, that was kind of the epiphany moment for me. I can do this. I seriously can do that. And that's when the seeds started aligning, in my heart and in my head, because I always thought I could do it. But, there was a moment, I can remember it was yesterday, where I quit my job. It was in April. It was one of those really, really crazy, we had a snow day in April. It never happens, but we had, it was April 1st or something like that. And, Mother Nature was playing an April Fool's joke on us. We had a snow day. And this was my 2-year-old. She was 2 at the time. She got used to every Saturday and Sunday. Daddy would come get her out of her crib, and Daddy was home all day. And then even that year, we had a couple snow days. So she knew Daddy came and got me. Especially if I was in my workout clothes. She knew Daddy was home to get to do fun things. And there was this one day where we didn't have a snow day. We had a delay. And, it was later. I didn't have to wake her up because, I was in middle school, so I had to get her out of her crib at 5:45. And it was 7 o'clock, and I'm getting her out of the crib. And, she's thinking that we're going to have a fun day. And I remember, the devastation. She was kind of confused in the car, not really understanding what's going on. And then, when we pulled up to daycare, the sheer grief almost that she was giving me about having to go to daycare when she thought she was going to hang with me, that was the day that I knew that this is what I was going to do. That was the day that I decided that I was going to just do this. There was no questioning that whether I could do this. It no longer was a pipe dream. It was something I was going to get done. And really, that's where I have to credit our team, Caesar. And that's something that we don't really promote a lot. But, I've been in multiple other programs, and so have you, and I've never experienced the camaraderie that we do within our program. Obviously you're not best friends with people right when you get started, but, I really think I've developed some close friendships with people that I've never even met. Specifically, I really got to call out a lady named Chris Kemmer and JC Hernandez and yourself, Caesar. I could throw a couple other people, Jimmy and Robin and Don in there. But really, Kemmer and JC and yourself, when I said, I'm going to do this, JC had multiple phone conversations with me, and Chris Kemmer, was there for every step of the way to help me. And it was really those two, working with me and solidifying a game plan for me to make enough money to be able to quit my job. And it needs to be put out there too that JC and Chris Kemmer, they're not above me, or they're not my sponsor, and they got zero financial benefit from that. They just were able to be part of my story. And I think they both, are grateful that they're able to be part of that story. And the cool thing about that is I've gone on to kind of learn more about this dropshipping industry, and I've been able to kind of give back to the group and mentor, essentially mentor my mentors, which is pretty cool in itself. I mean, I openly shared my salary, and I'll share it again. As a teacher, I was making a whopping $1,200 every 2 weeks take home. And, just to replace my income, I had to clear, about $2,800 to do that. And, my best month on eBay was over $5,000. I mean, you can't compare. You just can't compare.
Right. Man, good for you, Chris. I'm proud of you, brother. I mean, you're one of our many success stories, but you can. I mean, I don't think anybody can deny this above and your passion that you have for the system and you're continuing. I'm using to share what you gave. You gave some nuggets yesterday on a tool that really helps folks scale up their business. I'm about to launch something this weekend to share with everybody on the team, a new dropshipping source that nobody's ever heard about. And the reason I kind of hit it was because I've been working with the gentleman to get it to where I need it to be so that everybody can use it. And they're actually somebody that found me dropshipping on Amazon. And they say, hey, are you a dropshipper? Well, tell you what, let's get the big guy, Amazon, and let's go straight to me. And I said, well, can we somehow make this available to my whole team? Because I don't want to just afford it. I don't think that way. I like to share with everybody. And everybody's already part of the system. Let's just give them some more added value. And he said, yeah, that's not a problem. We'll create you one account, and then you guys have everybody just log in there, and you can list items from there. So we'll have to play it out, see how that works out. But that's something I want to share with you guys as well as another added source. It's amazing the people that you meet. You're right, Chris. I mean, it's amazing the stories that come across, from folks that have been here for a while to folks that just got started like Lewis, not even a month ago and already racking up a full-time income. I'm like, wow, that's an awesome story. Man, well, thank you very much for coming out. I appreciate your time and everything you do for the team. And, I'm sure your lovely wife can appreciate you bringing some money home while you're having fun with your girls. I wouldn't say you're doing this full-time because you're having a lot more time. I think full-time is your daughters, part-time is your eBay income, which is actually full-time income.
That's the crazy thing. I was just talking with one of my new guys, Gustavo Garcia, earlier today, and his passion is there. And I was explaining to him, I said, you could fly as fast as you want because literally every tool you need is here. It's just a matter of you being able to implement them. And, I freely tell my team members that my timeline does not have to be your timeline. And I think Lewis is a great example. On my own personal team, one of my favorite stories is a guy named John Derlin. He never did anything as far as work from home or internet income things, nothing. He was a friend from high school that saw one of my posts, I think I remember his response. His response was, "Are you just bragging? Are you willing to help people?" That was his comment to me. And I'm like, well, I'm willing to help. Well, I'm willing to help. There's a system that I'm part of, so on and so forth. He took a look at it, and him and his wife talked about it, and they've been running with it ever since. He's never done anything, and right out of the gate, he made over $1,000 profit his first month. His second month, he cleared $2,000 profit. Their whole goal. They have a 5-year-old boy. And their whole goal was, the wife works second shift, he works first shift, was to kind of free up that schedule so they could have more family time. And not only is his wife down to working, essentially 3 nights now, she's given up her weekend stuffs and 2 nights, but the way he explained it to me is they're having more fun building this business together than they've had in a long time. We used to probably back to when we were dating. That's the cool thing about this is it's something that you can do and you can enjoy with your spouse and bring your spouse together. And if you got the desire and the time and the effort to do this, it took me 4 months to make my first grand profit in a month. It took John a month. It's taking Lewis a month to make $1,700. It took me 7 months before I finally cleared $2,000, and it took John 2 months. And if you ask John, he pretty much openly says, I just kind of took everything Chris said on faith. So the cool thing about anyone looking at our program now is you don't kind of stumble through some of the stuff that we stumbled through. You literally can you can pick up right where leaders are giving you the opportunity to start. I mean, you don't there's no more figuring stuff out. Everything has been figured out for us. If you tie into the system, I seriously don't know how you could fail at this point. And and I've had a few people quit on my team, but every single one of them has a legitimate reason. And you can testify to this. I've had multiple people, quote unquote, pause their membership and restart back up because really there is nothing like this out there. There's other programs that if you're good at promoting, you can make some money on. There's even other eBay programs, but Cesar, they don't have the technology that we do. and they don't have the team that we do. You know, like they like the two main ingredients that got me home from my job was you know, I would say that people number one, and number two was the technology. You know, I had a very limited amount of time. I was a full-time special ed teacher. I enjoyed working out. I had a 2-year-old. I had a wife. So I had about an hour to 2 hours a day. If I did not have the scraper software that you were sharing earlier, like I'd be eons behind where I am now. And if I didn't have the team that, like, when I raised my hand, and I think I saw you share the Facebook group, like that's a great example. If you raise your hand and you say, I have a question about this, it's almost like, you know, someone dropping a handful of rocks. It's like that's how fast the replies come in. Boom, 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 boom. You know, check here, do this, do this. I mean, it's so cool to see that many people tied into the greater good of every single member of our team. And my guy earlier today, he was like kind of shocked. He's like, I can't believe that you're willing to pass all this on. You know, it's just part of my membership. I'm like, yeah, I mean, that's kind of what we talked about. You get a personal coach, you know, like, and you know, what benefit do I get if I keep all this to myself? You know, like, I'd rather benefit from sharing your story, your success story, than knowing that I did really good. And, you know, and the cool thing about what you were saying earlier about how when you give, you get, guess how many sales I've had today?
I'm going to guess you're averaging mostly 16, 17, 20, maybe, around there?
I had 21 today. That's after doing, so 2 weeks ago I finished the week at 74, and then last week was 69, and just in the past 3 days I had a 12-day, a 9-day, and a 21 day. So I'm already at 42 for 3 days. So, I mean, like, those numbers are astronomical, especially when you throw in the fact that you have the ability to just refer people. Like in my team members, like recruiting, I don't coach that, I don't teach that, but it doesn't make sense to at least get yourself free. Like, is there 2 people that might be hurting a little bit that could benefit from some extra money? You know, and I've, you know, like you talked about the duplication factor. I've never really had a team. I mean, I've never really had more than, like, say, 3 personal people active at a time in anything I've ever done. I don't have the internet marketing skills that you do, but in this, I mean, it's just so awesome to watch somebody new. I mean, like there's always like this. This will be the last thing I share because I know I can get long-winded, but it's so cool. Like when someone makes the decision to start, there's this burst of love and energy that flows from them. Like, yeah, I'm ready to do this, and then like it's kind of funny because it can be like a little bit like information overload, like your first day, as you're like, wow, that's a lot that I just learned in those videos, you know. But everyone gets through that, and then they get their first sale, and like that, and that excitement is just like bubbling now over, and then they have their first like 5 sale day, and then they have their first 10 sale day where they're double digits. And like I can still remember when John and a couple other people had their first $100 day. Like I swear they're about to jump for the phone and give me a hug. You know, like it's so cool. It's so cool that you can experience that, and then you can like share that with people. You know, the phrase you and I always throw back and forth is average Joes. Like, you know, this is a program that average Joes. There's no ninja, Google, whatever panda tricks you need to learn, or SEO marketing trips, or Facebook ads. You know, you just need to know, like, can you spell the word ebay.com? You know, like that's all you need to know how to do. You know.
Absolutely, man. Well, thank you very much, Chris. I appreciate you coming out again. And I got to give a quick shout out to Becky Miller out there in Del Mar area. Actually, she's in Pacific Beach. I met her yesterday at a chiropractor. I see her on the webinar, but she took her friend to a chiropractor where I go to. And it's good to see you here, Becky. I'm going to guess you're the same Becky Miller that I met yesterday because you have a very common name. But chances are you're the same gal. So good to see you on here, Becky. Okay, so you met Chris, great guy. Obviously, his passion burns inside him. There's no denying that. Let's continue here, and we'll wrap it up. So Chris Kemmer, you heard her mention. She's been with us since the birth of EDS. Again, that was called EDC back then. But, you know, just really being a servant leader, the system works. She's passionate about really the system and the people. And so we're grateful for her, as busy as she is out there in Las Vegas, the city that you can get lost in. We actually held our first 2-year anniversary there. It was nice to meet her in person for the first time. So JC met him as well, our firefighter out in Florida. He's been with us again for about the same time, and he is someone that I remember calling him because we used to have surveys that folks would fill out, and we still have that for some part of the system, but back then when I was building like crazy and really hitting the phones, he was one guy that I reached out to, and I remember him ignoring my calls twice, not calling me back, and I say, look, by the third call, I say, hey, buddy, I don't know, you're really interested in getting going, but I'm not really seeing it in you, so I'm going to go ahead and take you off my list, and sure enough, he called me back right away. He's a story I'll never forget because it got me out of my comfort zone to talk like that. I don't usually talk in, I feel like I'm being rude to people, and no, you have to be really, you have to believe in what you're doing, right? And so we have to respect each other's time, and JC's one of those guys that has been with us for a while and really helps a lot of people out and has coined the word JC. So thanks, JC. And Chris Ayers is actually on the webinar tonight. Him and his wife, Amy, she's out there, both out there in San Antonio, Texas. Awesome people. Both of them run their eBay store, and I'm just grateful for them because they share the same passion, and I appreciate Chris because he's getting me into pushing towards triathlon, to be a triathlete, and I'm working my way there. I'm working on my fitness and some goals. I'm doing some CrossFit stuff, so it's cool to, you never know who you're going to meet. Some really good people, and he's definitely passionate about that. You can contact him, and not only does he do eBay, but he's got some really cool videos on YouTube about his business on coaching folks in to be a triathlete. So love you guys for being on the team. Katie Vega, busy mom, 5 beautiful kids, and as busy as she is, brought some really good leaders to the team, and has not only done eBay, but has really coined the Facebook marketing, and some great training in the back office on how to connect with people on Facebook one-on-one and build that relationship. And so she is like I would call her the Facebook marketing queen. Okay, so some final steps to take action here. You got cash now in PayPal. You're making an additional $200 to, let's just say, average $500 to $1,000 a month when you first get started. Let's just kind of average it out, right? What are you going to do with that money? I hope that your relationship with money is good. Are you going to quit your job? I don't know what that number is for you. So the very first thing I have my students do is I ask them a question. I'm up front with them and say, what is that number for you? What do you need? I was talking to a gentleman yesterday from Canada. I was on the phone with him, and he says, man, I've been following you for the last 2 years. Even before that, I've been following you since Craigslist days. And you seem someone that's genuine. You have a passion to help people. And I'm like, cool, man. It's good to hear that people are looking at your stuff, right? Your videos and your marketing. But this gentleman really had me pegged. He's like, I want to get coached by you. I've been I believe I want to say 15 to 20 years he's been coaching professional. If it's not hockey, it's soccer. But he's a coach. He's a referee, I believe. And so I asked him. I said, what is that number for you to come home? Because he wants to quit. And he's done. He's tired. And so that's the question that I challenge all of you tonight: is get a piece of paper, write it down. I actually haven't shared this with anybody, but I think it's important. Why is it important to write things down? I was cleaning out my garage yesterday after losing my home back in 2010 and carrying boxes and boxes of stuff back between houses, going from the big house to the small house to now buying our own home, which is awesome. We bought a short sale here in November of 2000 and actually last year, 2013. I opened up a box, cleaned out my garage because I'm organizing, and I find an old notebook. And then inside of that notebook, I see 2008 goals. I said, in 5 years, I'm going to retire my wife. That's number one. And number two is I'm going to have time freedom so I can do what I want, living off of residual income. And ladies and gentlemen, 5 years later, 2009, 2010, 2011, 12, 13, okay, that was last year. Okay, that was last year when I was living full-time off of residual income. That was 5 years later I set those goals. I totally forgot about that notebook. It was buried in the box. My point in saying that is the great people that have been successful in living off residual income have set clear defined goals. And so that's my challenge for you guys tonight. It's something I haven't shared before, but I'm proud to say that I totally forgot about it, but I wrote it down. I wrote those goals down because I was in a network marketing company. Maybe I wasn't doing this specifically, but I did all the right steps to get me where I'm at today. And that's my point for you guys tonight, whether you decide to come on board and be a part of this team and get some good information, make some money with us, or if you just decide to take that information and it's free information. Get a piece of paper, write your goals for the next 5 years, and really set those goals and maybe bury it under your pillow, bury it in a box like I did, and then you'll run into it later on. I don't believe in accidents. I believe everything happens for a reason. I'm super excited to have folks like Chris Smith, Lewis on the phone, and on the team, because these are the leaders that I wanted to attract, right? I wrote this down. I want to be surrounded by like-minded family people that love family, have faith in higher power, whether it's God or some case, but living off of good moral values. And that was my goal, right? That was my personal goal. Maybe they don't know that because I never talked to them about it, but it's what I attracted. So I wrote that down, and so that's what I encourage you to do. If you want to attract money and you love money and that's all it is, and there's nothing behind it but just money, write that down. Okay, who am I to judge what you love? And so if you want to have a goal to buy an old school car like I do, that's my next goal. I want to buy a 1963 convertible Impala. I wrote that down. I want an RV before June so I can travel with my family. I wrote that down too. So that's my next goal, guys. You have to write things down. Quit your job. Go travel, fly, or RV lifestyle. Live an RV lifestyle for a few weeks. Maybe I'll go visit Chris Smith out there in Ohio, right? Spend more time with family. Buy the car, house that you've always wanted. I don't know, if you guys been there where I was at, but we were living some pretty scary times. Even though my wife had her income, it wasn't a lot. I was grateful for the income, but we were living paycheck to paycheck, and I got tired of that. And my goal was, before we bought another house, that I would live off of residual income, and the house would be paid off of residual income, which is a beautiful feeling, guys. If you've never experienced residual income, it's something that I can't even explain the feeling. It gives you freedom, okay? And I only wish so many more people would be educated on that, but that's another story, another time. It's not everybody's fault on this webinar, but I can tell you where that rooted from. And it was from other wealthy corporations, like the Rockefellers, that don't want you to be rich for a reason. And so you're scared of making money. And there's a whole psychology behind that, and I won't go into that tonight. But hang out with me long enough, and you'll learn more about that in the personal development section. Give to your favorite charity, or we'll start one, guys. It's interesting now that I remember, tithing every Sunday at the basket. I can only give out $1 or $5. And that was like because I was broke, and even though I was broke, I was still giving. And now it's it's a little bit different. But you can go start your own charity, or I'll go donate to one. Before you donate to the American Cancer Association, I'm going to encourage you guys to watch A Beautiful Truth, okay? Because the Rockefellers are attached to that, most wealthiest nonprofit in the world, and they can't figure out cancer, and that's because there's no money in fixing yourself. They want to keep you on the fix-it pill for every ill. So I lost 2 aunts to cancer, so I can say that publicly because I can care less about those bastards. Okay, so engineers can do it too. This is Moises out there in Carolina, Puerto Rico. He showed off some of his PayPal money there, but he and his girlfriend have run their eBay stores for quite a long time. They're excited about doing this on a part-time basis, and they're making some exciting incomes. And this is something that they're happy about. They got a little team going. I'm proud of their students that actually is building a team not only on eBay but also building a team in the back end to coach them, and so I'm proud of their little team that's going as well. So will you be our next success story? The road to success is really being that servant leader. I've always coined that with our team. Something I just kind of built from the very beginning. If you serve and be that servant leader, you will get blessed, and not only financially, but you have this almost like a spiritual awakening, because we all go through our own spiritual paths, right? We all have different reasons why we're here today and not gone tomorrow, but we're really here because at the right place, the right time. And I believe if you align yourself with people that you feel comfortable with, I might not be that guy. Chris Smith may not be that guy, and Lewis may not be that guy, but you find somebody that you feel comfortable with working with, and they're going to take you to, quote unquote, the promised land, to free yourself of financial debt or whatever your goals are. I think that we have a pretty cool system. Yes, we're not, thousands and thousands of people, but that's built that way for a reason. I don't want this information to go out to thousands and thousands of people. I want this to be within a few hundred, right? We don't want too much competition out there, and I don't want too many people bogging down my servers and abusing the system. So I'm okay with keeping it steady at a few hundred people. Okay, I'm okay there. I'm not mad at that. So my point is, would I love to see it to grow? Absolutely, but we always want the right people. And if what we say resonates with you, we invite you to come on board. Again, you received an email from somebody that invited you here tonight. You get back to that person within the next 3 hours and say, look, I'm ready to get coached. What's that link? And what's going to happen is they're going to send you through a 4-step process. You're going to sign up. After you sign up for the membership that makes the most sense for you, and then you will follow about 4-step process of modules, complete those modules, do 5 listings, get back to that person, show them your listings on what you learned, and then you'll be invited by a new student orientation sometime within this weekend. I know I have a wedding on Saturday I got to go to, so I can't do it on Saturday. So possibly either Sunday or Monday we'll do a new student orientation and cover some updates that possibly aren't in the first module of listing an item. So with that said, I think we're done here with the presentation. I appreciate everybody being on tonight. And if you guys have any questions, I'll hang out here for about 2 minutes, and then we'll wrap it up.